All right, final year of the show here. We are into 2018. If it was not abundantly clear from the year before, we are in full fledged superhero territory here. Black Panther, Avengers Infinity War, Incredibles 2, Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, Spider Man Into the Spider Verse, Deadpool 2, The Grinch, Jumanji Welcome to the Jungle, Mission Impossible Fallout, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Solo, a Star Wars story, Venom, A Star is Born, Aquaman, Bohemian Rhapsody, and A Quiet Place are your top grossers of the year. And there was one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight movies about superheroes in that top
Yeah.
15.
Yeah.
Some were
The
great, some
surprising
were not.
the surprising Producers Guild nominations for this year were Crazy Rich Asian. I I'd like to
Interesting.
see those. In terms of the thing I was kept talking about hinting at was the category expansion was they floated the idea of a popular film category,
That's a bad idea.
and that's what everyone said was did not do this. And it started a whole controversy because it's just like if you do that, that just nullifies like first off, how do you explain that? Like what makes a popular
Are
film?
we talking about box office? Or are we talking about critical
Exactly.
like the closest thing I can even think of to give parameters, and I want to make it clear, this is a bad idea what I'm about to say. If you're forcing me to say, Evan, you got to make this work. Like, do I just go to the fucking tomato meter at Rotten Tomatoes and just look at the popcorn
I
score?
think the only thing
Like,
I could say is like box office. I think it's the only thing that would make.
and that's the thing is, as we've already experienced on this show, there is some bad, bad
Yeah,
top grossing
exactly.
movies of the year. I mean, here, let's go back in the top 15 last year. Like, you have the Justice League is in that.
Yeah,
That movie is dreadful.
yeah,
I personally also hate Thor Ragnarok. I can't say it's a bad movie. I hate it more than I hate Justice League. And that's
yeah,
saying something because Justice League pisses me off.
yeah. And then you also get into the thing of like, okay, so if you do have a popular film category, are popular films no longer going to be eligible for Best
That
Picture?
was the
That kind
next
of
thing I
thing.
was
No,
about to say.
yeah. So it's just a bad idea overall.
Because immediately
I'm
it takes the little shreds of credibility that they've been eking out over the past since the Dark Knight fuck up. I don't care what anyone says. We've already fixed that problem. This oh fuck, we fucked this one up. We need to do this. This year has a Best Picture nominee that I do not agree with whatsoever, and it's a super popular movie.
nominee. I mean, I don't agree with the winner being nominated completely.
But when you do that, like for instance, if that was done in 2017, Get Out's probably not nominated for Best Picture. Oh, it's gonna win. It won most popular
Sure.
movie. Most popular movie. You're like, that's not how that works. Get Out's
Yeah.
better than everything. Just because it was popular doesn't mean it isn't better than everything else.
Yeah. Exactly. It becomes like almost becomes like the MTV Awards kind of thing. Like where
I
it's just like, what are we doing here?
well also haven't they created a new viral category like most viral movie or whatever, or like or shout outs or some shit like that on the
They
show?
Golden Globes did have a I can't remember what they called it. I'll look it up. Uh,
The thing is, this is what I don't understand about the Oscars is for the show, not the awards, but for the show. What I would do is if people are watching the Oscars, you know enough to at least say what was your favorite scene or what was your favorite moment in a movie? Let's take 2017 for example. Again, I don't think Wonder Woman is a Best Picture nominee caliber film. But I think there's a scene in there that is surely Best Picture worthy. Let audiences on social media go, hey, we're going to be playing 10 of your favorite moments from film this year. Has nothing to do with us. This is purely fan vote on Twitter, X, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Or, hey, we got this big poll out. Tell us what it is. This is what some of the audience's favorites were. And then you can say, hey, we're acknowledging you guys.
Yeah. That'd be fine. Like, not an official thing.
Exactly. That's what I don't
So
understand.
the Golden Globes added this category. They added award for cinematic and box office achievement.
What does that even mean?
It was Wicked, Beetlejuice, Gladiator 2, Inside Out.
And who won?
Wicked.
Why? Inside Out 2 made more money.
I don't know why. It's just voted by the fucking Hollywood Foreign Press. That's why.
And again, it makes no sense then.
Yeah.
And that's the problem with this, is you need a voting body that understands blockbuster does not inherently mean popcorn good bad. It means it can be amazing. It also means it can be shit.
Yeah. That's why I'm so glad they didn't do it, because I'm like, oh, that's so risky of a, especially just popular film.
Yeah.
That's a risky thing.
Well, also, what happens in 1999 or 2000 when you're honoring the movies of 99? Most popular that movie that year by all metrics is The Phantom Menace. Does that deserve any positive recognition outside of special effects or production design? No.
Obviously not when you have the Mummy and give it to that.
But that, yeah, I'm glad that they didn't do that. It's a bad decision. I almost want to just create a rogue award show. It's like, this is for normal people. And I understand some of those already exist.
The normal people awards.
But these are the normie awards. It's more of an honor to win this than the Oscars, okay? Because the people actually care. And I know people are like, the People's Choice Awards always exist. Fuck the People's Choice Awards, okay? Just normal people saying shit. That's it.
Technical changes. What do you got?
Visual effects, I think, should go to Avengers Infinity War.
That's another one where I go, it's one of those boiling points where First Man is definitely more of a mixture of practical. It's that Interstellar thing where it's practical and CG over something that is definitely CGI heavy.
Yeah. And if it's visual effects, what does that mean? And yeah, it's the boiling point. I just think Avengers Infinity War, incredibly.
I mean, the amount of visual effects in that movie, I can't even guess at how many shots.
I mean, the majority of the movie is visual effects.
Yeah, it has to have like a crazy amount.
Yeah. And then another change. I want to say this right now. I'm an enormous Lady Gaga fan. You give me a Lady Gaga ballad, I'll lose my shit every day. I fucking love Lady Gaga. All the Stars is a better song. I would go original song. It should be All the Stars from Black Panther. That song's incredible.
I disagree there.
I All the Stars is incredible, and it's got more staying power, which is crazy.
I actually like. Think of it off the top of my head. The other song that Lady Gaga sings in Star is Born. It's called.
I've only seen half that movie, and I watched half of it with no sound through seats on an airplane. So
have you seen the ending?
I know the ending, so it's like, who cares?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I connect with the ending, emotional level. I like her song alone more than I like the ballad of the duet more. But obviously, I understand why that song won. I mean, that song was a fucking phenomenon.
It's an incredible song. I'm not taking anything away from Shallow. It's a great song, and I love it. I'm a huge Lady Gaga fan. I just think All the Stars is a better song. All the Stars is an
Yeah.
incredible because I think it hits. I think it's another boiling point where it's finally like, oh, to me, All the Stars, it's not as good. I want to make that very clear. But to me, it's of a similar vein to Lose Yourself, where it's just like, this song's so fucking good. Can we just stop? It's just so fucking.
It's no Lose Yourself.
No, very
Lose Yourself
rarely.
is like undeniably.
I'm saying in the
great.
same vein, where it's just an influx of popular music of a certain genre that never gets recognized in film. That's what I mean by that. Lose Yourself is a song that everybody on the planet knows, everyone on the planet should know, and it's a top 100 song of all time. Like, Lose Yourself's incredible. I'm not trying to compare it from a, like, obviously it's the same level. No, nothing is. Very few songs on this planet are Lose Yourself caliber, right?
Yeah.
But it's just, I'm saying of the same ilk, being recognized, getting some new flow into there, and I think All the Stars actually has a more of a staying power than Shallow does.
I have one of the most baffling wins is editing for Bohemian Rhapsody. There's like breakdowns on YouTube that everyone should watch of why that film is just a fucking mess in terms of film editing. It is awful. Like, it is baffling how it even got nominated.
Let alone one. Yeah.
It's crazy when you watch it. It's like, truly, I hate that fucking movie so much.
Let's talk about that in the Best Picture category some more.
Well, I'll be talking about it in the Best Actor. Sound mixing, I would have loved to see a nomination for A Quiet Place.
I saw that.
Like, like, because it's so quiet, it's like a contradiction almost. But I really love it.
I mean,
It's
if
kind
that
of the same thing I
does it
talk
achieve
about
the goal
with,
that it's supposed to? Yes.
yeah, kind of the same thing I talk about with a I'm blanking on it, Sinister, where it's like very stark, it's horror, and then adapted screenplay nomination for Into the Spider Verse. I fucking love that. Great, so much creativity.
I think Into the Spider Verse. I do have I have a nomination for a big one that I didn't originally have, a late edition. So let's go. I agree with you there, though. I think all three big superhero movies
and then,
that year have a right to be in part of adapted screenplay.
and
I think
then
Black
I
Panther's a
literally,
great screenplay for adapted screenplay. I think Infinity Wars has a right to be in that discussion, and I think Into the Spider Verse does as well.
and then for original screenplay, I wrote literally anything over Green Book.
You really don't like Green Book, man.
Green Book is such a step back for the Oscars. It is like that. That's a movie that should have won 20 years ago, not 2018. It's crazy. It should have won like 50 years ago, not in 2018. It's insane.
Never
I'll
seen it.
talk about it a little bit more.
I've seen plenty of clips of it. Here's the issue: is so many of these movies, Quiet Place is in there as well. I've seen so many clips of the movie that I'm like, I think I got it. So I just like don't watch it.
Okay, so director Alfonso Cuarón wins for Roma. Actor Rami Malek wins for Bohemian Rhapsody. Actress Olivia Colman wins for The Favorite. Supporting actor Mahershala Ali for Green Book, and supporting actress Regina King with Beale Street Good Talk. So the thing I wanted to talk about with Rami Malek. Usually, if a actor wins for portraying a singer, like Jamie Foxx for playing Ray Charles,
Sure.
usually they win because they do the singing themselves. But with Rami Malek, what they decided to do was use his vocals mixed with
Freddie Mercury's
Freddie Mercury's together. which I'm assuming is mostly Freddie Mercury with Rami Malek, maybe a little bit,
No shit.
which which to me is just like that's it's not really that's like partial his performance. It's not all his performance. Like, is he still acting? Yes, but it bugs me that
If the appeal of the movie is supposed to be the music and the musical component of it, then yeah,
yes,
it's a
and
problem.
and I think most people don't know that about that performance.
Which is wild. How could you not?
Well, I because most people assume that the singer does sing themselves because that is such a thing. Like Joaquin Phoenix, he learned how to sing himself. Amy Fox, he learned how to sing himself. Reese Witherspoon learned how to sing herself. Like they all do. It's just
Well, also
they
it's
didn't
a
for
far
this
more
movie.
popular tactic now. I remember the rise of Rebecca Ferguson for Greatest Showman, and I fell in love with
Oh
her
yeah,
because of Mission Impossible.
She
She
did.
didn't sing that song in
She did
Greatest
not.
Showman, but
Yeah,
she was very honest about it. She's like, I didn't sing that.
yeah. But everyone else in that movie did. So it's like it just always bugged me about that movie.
So I've never watched Bohemian Rhapsody, partially out of protest. I didn't understand the appeal, and
Don't worry, you're
admittedly,
not missing anything.
the popularity of that movie made me dislike Queen. Do you know how hard it is to get me to dislike Queen? Queen's a great band.
I fully like I don't say I hate Bohemian Rhapsody the song, but I used to love that song and now I'm like it's like a almost every time I skip it on.
I have never been a huge fan of the single Bohemian Rhapsody itself. I think there's some Zack Snyder masturbatory elements to it where I'm like, cool,
Sure.
you did something big.
Yeah.
I just think it's bullshit. I think that song's bullshit. I thought that before the movie came out, but I love a ton of Queen's music. Queen was so fucking overplayed because of this godforsaken fucking movie that now I just on habit start hearing Queen and just go skip, skip.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I was
This
already a mood listener of Queen. When I was in the mood for Queen, I was like, ah. When I wasn't in the mood for Queen, I was like, if it's the right song, maybe. Like, I love Radio Gaga. It's one of my favorite songs. There's a lot of other lower key hits that Queen have that I like. A lot of the big stuff that everyone's like, oh, I gotta love it. I'm like, it's fine at best. Or it's not good.
it's I don't want to say it's like a caricature of a performance, but times that's what it feels like to me.
So, in true evaluation, as someone who's watched the film, because again, I didn't watch it out of protest, because then I also got every old relative ever who went to the movie, like, you gotta see Bohemian Rhapsody. And I was like, no, I don't. No, I don't. I don't have to go. I don't want to go. I don't want to see this fucking movie. Because I remember that was in development hell for like 10 years. For years when we were listening to Movie Talk online, it was like,
Well,
oh, they're
it
making this Freddie
changed.
Mercury movie. They're making this Freddie Mercury movie. And I was like, that sounds
Well,
great.
the whole reason that the editing is such a mess is because yeah, it became production hell.
And I had no interest in that fucking movie by the time it came out. I was like, who gives a shit? Who fucking cares? I'm not saying my interest in Freddie Mercury the human being still very high, still very cool.
Yeah,
Very
and it, like
fascinating story.
there's
I don't need it in this
everyone goes
bullshit
like,
movie.
"Oh, it looks just like the Live Aid performance." I'm like, "Why do I give a shit? I'll just watch the fucking Live Aid then."
Yeah,
Like,
because that's awesome. Live Aid's great.
yeah, I don't need to watch a recreation of it. Like, I want to watch like things I haven't seen. I want to watch
For
private
instance,
moments
you
that I
watch
can't see.
yeah, Live Aid is considered one of the greatest musical events ever held in the history of humanity.
Yeah,
And there's footage of it. So just go watch the footage of it.
exactly.
It's the same thing
I
as
want to see stuff I can't see.
like I'm thankfully there's never been anything to a huge scale to do this. You know I love Jimi Hendrix. If they ever were to recreate Hendrix Monday morning at Woodstock playing the Star Spangled Banner, I don't have any interest in it because there's footage of it. I can just go watch the
Exactly.
actual best in the world do it. I don't need to see your cinematic take on it.
Yeah. That's why I don't understand the love for this movie.
I I think it's simply people
But
like all I have found in my time of hating musicals, because that's what it really is. It's at this point there's somewhat of a blind hatred, and I accept and acknowledge these facts. Okay, there are musicals that I truly love. I cannot stand why magically someone sings in a movie, and that means the movie is better than everything else. And there's a lot of the movie going public of just normal people who think someone sang in movie, ergo, movie better. And that is patently false. It's just wrong.
yeah,
It drives me
I
up the
don't know.
fucking wall.
It does. This movie in particular, it does bother me a lot because this movie is so mediocre.
And that's all I ever heard. And I heard Rami Malek wasn't even that good in the movie. So I was like, okay, cool.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. I So that's one change I had. I actually really love Ethan Hawke's performance in First Reformed, which is a movie that like pretty much got no recognition this year.
Sure.
He wasn't nominated at all. Yeah, and then another change I had is Tony Collette in Hereditary, which got absolutely no love from anyone. Horror movie,
It's a good movie.
never never gonna get any love. That's one thing that pretty much you're always gonna see like online is like in terms of this year, like if you ever look at anything in terms of Oscar snubs of this year, you're gonna see Tony Collette
Hereditary.
being snubbed for Hereditary.
Yeah.
It's like the biggest overlook of all time, pretty much
Yeah.
at this point.
Well, it was a
It's
horror movie, so it
crazy.
doesn't count. You're like, no,
Yeah,
that's not how it fucking
exactly.
works.
And then Mahershala Ali is good in look. That's like the one part of that movie I actually like. But I really love Sam Elliott in A Star Is Born. So it would have been nice to see him win.
We just like Sam Elliott. Sam Elliott's
Exactly.
great.
He's awesome.
Sam Elliott, I mean, my favorite Sam Elliott performance is from fucking Roadhouse. So I love that guy.
I I also love him in Big Lebowski. It's a
Um,
bit performance.
Best picture, the only thing I have there
Oh,
is
quick shout outs. Quick shout outs.
yeah,
Michael B. Jordan, Black Panther. He's great in it.
yes.
Like the one part of that movie I actually really love.
I could have saw a
Um
supporting actor nom for him. I could have.
yeah, that Emily Blunt in A Quiet Place and Alex Wolff is also great in Hereditary. Yeah. So best picture. Green Book takes it home because the Oscars are good. Black Panther is nominated. Black Klansman, Roma, A Favorite, A Star Is Born, Bohemian Rhapsody, Vice.
Wrong superhero movie was nominated.
Hey, we actually agree. Black Panther should be nominated.
Black Panther holds a very special place in my heart for sentimental reasons. When I look at it just as a film, I don't understand why it was nominated for this picture. I don't get it.
I actually would say if it didn't have such a mess of a third act, yeah, I'm completely fine with it being. But because the third act is like actually baffling in terms of like how much of a mess it is.
Could be better.
Like it's truly baffling. Like it, and they go into that train place,
The
you know,
afterlife with the Panthers. Is that what you're talking
and
about?
it like that CGI fight with the train.
Oh, the train fight. Yeah,
That looks like a PS2 fight. It looks it looks awful. It's insane.
A PS2 fight.
It's bad. It looks awful. And then the big ass fight with the rhinos and stuff. It's just stupid. It just didn't turn into a typical Marvel movie at the end. Then it would be as picture worthy, I would say.
Yeah, I would say that. I think I understand how important Black Panther is. I have super fond memories of that movie on multiple different waves with people. I remember the first night at opening night we went, and there was legit 30 people in a group, all in traditional African garb, some of them cosplaying from parts of the movie, some of them just wearing very traditional garb of the areas of Africa that they were clearly echoing in Black Panther. And to watch them enjoy that movie was the same experience
Yes.
I got while watching Wonder Woman with a bunch of very, very important women in my life that just went, I get this. This is the first time you've ever gotten this. And it feels great to be able to experience that with you and to understand that. Same deal. I was a summer camp counselor that year. I had the fourth grade group. We ended our day in the library every day, and there was a TV for the end of the day. I think we put on Black Panther 4 out of 5 days every time we could. Because my kids would not stop. They're just like, I want to watch Black Panther. But I'm on the south side of Chicago. I'm working with all black kids. That was great. It was a wonderful experience. And at first I was like, why do they want to keep watching this fucking movie? But then I was like, oh, I get it. This is what I had as a kid, but they finally get it. If you would have asked, hey, Evan, do you want to watch Batman every day? I would have been like, yeah, let's fucking do it. I get it.
Yeah.
But in terms of just the craft of the film, I don't think that's an Oscar-worthy Academy Award winner or Academy Award nominee. And the other thing is, I think Into the Spider-Verse is an Academy Best Picture nominee.
That's one of the things I have down. And then so I talk about Green Book. The thing that really baffles me about that movie is it handles the gay aspect of the Mahershala Ali character with such grace and such subtlety that it's so baffling how it handles the race aspect of the movie. Like the race aspect of it is like so ham-handed and so on the nose that it's like Crash, where it's just like racism is bad. Hey, you should treat people with respect. It's just like, yeah, no fucking shit. We understand that, assholes. It's just like, yeah, it's like I said, it should have in the 60s when the civil rights movement was happening. Like, then it would have been revolutionary. Sure. It's not revolutionary in the 18th.
Well, yeah. I mean, I've never seen Green Book. I've seen a lot of clips of Green Book, but I've never seen Green Book itself.
It does handle Mahershala Ali's character is gay in it. That is a reveal. And it handles that pretty well. Like, it's pretty subtle. And it does Viggo Mortensen's character is like this big, brusque, like, Jersey guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, yeah, that part of it is actually treated with grace and dignity. And it's like, how is the rest of the film so crap compared to this? It is so baffling.
It's how movies work sometimes, unfortunately.
Yes, so to me, that shouldn't even be nominated for this picture.
So what would be your change then?
I honestly say it's easily one of the bottom, I don't know if I'd say bottom 10, but definitely bottom 15 best picture winners of all time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so this is a bold choice, but I say Hereditary should have won. If not that, if I had to pick a winner in terms of the actual nominee, I would have went Roma. That was probably like, oh, that was definitely like the if it wasn't Green Book, it was definitely Roma because those were like the two contenders going in. But I really love Hereditary,
You
and
do
then
Hereditary.
I
Hereditary
would
to
have
me is
taken.
good. I don't see the hype about
Oh,
it, but it's good.
I love it. I love it so much. I would have taken out Green Book, Black Panther, and Bohemian Rhapsody. Like I said, I think it's shit. And I would have put in Hereditary, First Reformed, and Into the Spider.
Fair. Also, just a great story I heard about the character Black Panther was there was a movie screen. I think it was the guys in Russell Talk. They also cover movies. And, they go to Black Panther and they have the experience with everybody. And then they go into Infinity War. Spoilers to Infinity War for our comic book nerds who always are way too protective of the spoilers. In the end of Infinity War, Black Panther is one of the ones that gets dusted by the snap. Apparently, in their screening, there was a woman of color where T'Challa gets snapped, and she just like sat up and screamed in tears, like "Not my king!" And I was like, "That's nice." And like another way to show how important that character
Yeah.
is, and just the hilarity of "Not my king!" No, is hilarious to me, and I always love spreading that story wherever I can because I'm like, no, it shows representation's important, and it's just
Yeah.
great. But it's
Yeah, but once
hilarious to see
again,
that.
Into the Spider Verse, their animated movie, not getting
Into the Spider Verse is
nearly
a
enough.
true achievement of genius.
It
It's
does
so good.
win. It wins the animated movie, but
As it should. It's a landslide. Incredibles 2 is a phenomenal movie, and it's nowhere near as good as Into the Spider Verse.
I would agree.
Do you know how hard that is? Incredibles 2 is one of the most wanted sequels of all time. And Incredibles 2 is legitimately a great movie. And it's not even close to
I
Into
don't
the
know if I'd
Spider
say
Verse.
great, but
I think
it's
it's a great
good.
movie. And it's nowhere close to Into the Spider Verse. That's how good Into the Spider Verse is. It's wild.
Yeah. After Rising Star,
Oh God.
Eric Keoghan, Cynthia Erivo, Letitia Wright, Jesse Buckley, and
What was the last one?
Keith Stanfield.
Let's go with just for wicked's sake. Let's go for Cynthia Erivo. I don't know.
Letitia Wright.
Letitia Wright also that makes sense. I don't agree with that, but
Oh, or either do I.
I'm
But
I'm,
what can you do?
I'm kind of over her, frankly. I'm
Yeah.
actually I'm not gonna lie. Specifically, the production into Black Panther 2, Wakanda Forever. I was really over her. I was just like, can you just shut up, please? You're making this worse, not better.
Yeah. Yeah, Hereditary is definitely my favorite movie of the year.
I went with Deadpool 2. I think Deadpool 2 is superior to Deadpool 1. Um,
Oh. Oh.
I just think there's more emotion to it. I think they take some steps in the right direction. I think also the action
Does
gets
have
better.
Josh Brolin though. Josh Brolin's awesome.
Also, I think it has possibly the best sequence of the entire franchise.
I still have not seen the third one, so I can't say.
Okay, well, we can fix that soon if you want to. I mean, Deadpool and Wolverine is good, but the the helicopter dive or the
Oh yeah,
plane
that is
dive
fun.
is
That's
the
great.
and also one of the best cameos ever. Just
That
Brad
is
Pitt for
good. Yeah.
2 seconds getting electrocuted to death. Glorious, glorious times. But that would be my favorite. That has been our Oscar reviews for 2014 through 2018. There's always a lot to say, even when there's not a lot to say.
Yeah, apparently.
Apparently. Any other thought whatsoever before we close this show down? Fair enough. Fair enough. But stay tuned. Next week, we start our top 100 films of all time, which is going to be fun because we're going to get shit on tremendously because remember, it's a
Oh,
personal top 100.
sure.
But nonetheless, it's going to be a heck of a lot of fun. Go check out last week's episode if you want to hate us for our Star Wars opinions even more. Be fun, but really, we're just having fun enjoying the show with you guys. So Stay tuned. We'll catch you next time. Go watch a great movie. Peace, love, and hugs. Goodbye.